All right, everybody, we're back for Game 2 of this best of 3 between Vultur and Demon Murders Gaming here in the Kings of Dota League Season 2. Thanks so much for joining me again. I'm your English broadcaster, Sindar. And, well, in case you missed it, Vultur kind of ran over Demon in the early game of last game, Game 1, and they did not look back. Their Alchemist got absolutely huge, as farmed as an Alch as I've ever seen in a game. And, well, off of the back of that, Demon could not hold. They had the earlier game lineup and could not get back into things. But Game 2, it's a fresh start. Can Demon shake off that trouncing, that massacre that Vultur put out onto them? And can they get their heads back into it and get off to a good start? Well, they'll pick up an Invoker first pick for themselves. They did, because they had first pick, they did not ban it this time. Instead, choosing to get rid of that Beastmaster, which caused them a lot of problems in the offlane. KoD, very comfortable on that hero, obviously. And Vultur, they find themselves an Enchantress, so both of these heroes were banned out in the first phase last game. And teams will get their hands on them this time, and we'll see what they can do with them.
Reserve time.
And Invoker, not a hero to ever be underestimated. Hopefully with that, Zip-Zap can have a bit of a better lane up against DDX. The question is, what do Demon want to ban to try and ensure that early good laning stage? Because with an Enchantress already out, the amount of pressure that can come onto the lanes with those early creeps is not to be underestimated. So, Demon, I think their mid lane has to go a lot better. Well, I mean, let's be honest. All their lanes need to go a lot better, but the mid certainly would help. Zip-Zap got absolutely nothing done last game with those 4 early deaths, and things just went south from there. So, Vultur, with the Dazzle pick up second, nice defensive support. So the Dazzle, the lane babysitter, while Enchantress with those creeps runs around. Dazzle and Enchantress also a nice combo because you can get the creeps around a hero while you trap them up with Net or something, or the stun from the Centaurs, and then Dazzle can get that heal bomb off, and it does a lot of damage. It goes through BKB, it's physical, so could be a problem for whoever Demon's offlane ends up being, if they, especially if the jungle Enchantress close to the lane. Now, Demon, they'll go for Revenge second pick. Visco did work on that hero last game for Vultur, so they'll take it away from him, even though most likely these are 2 supports you're seeing on Vultur. Although, it has to be said that KoD could take the Enchantress offlane. It's not out of the question, although I haven't really seen it done a whole lot in the last little while. Now, another ban from Death Prophet for Demon. Again, bans heavily focused on the mid lane. And Vultur, they take out the Ursa, interestingly. Oh, of course, against the Enchantress. The last hero that Enchantress wants to fight up against is that Ursa. He doesn't really care about your untouchables, so taking out that hero makes a lot of sense, given that they value the Enchantress highly enough to go for a first pick. And Vultur taking their time with this next ban here, dipping into their reserve time a little heavily. And they'll go for the Slardar. Interestingly, because I felt like Jezu's Slardar did not really have a whole lot of game impact last game. He did farm up that Blink Dagger, but then after that got nothing else done with it. They got some kills off the back of it, but fed just as many. And I guess Vultur,
10 seconds remaining.
Another hero that can kind of go on Enchantress with the amp damage. It doesn't matter if you only get 1 or 2 hits because it does just so much. And the Crush obviously does a lot of work on her as well. But, I don't know. The Slardar ban seems kind of unnecessary. We'll see. It may play into some other game plan that they've got. Maybe just wanting to ensure that KoD has a decent offlane, or who knows. But now Demon taking their time with this ban as well. At this point, both drafts still wide open. Could go, excuse me, could go in any direction. And they'll take out the Disruptor themselves. Okay, interesting choice. Especially with the Enchantress and the Dazzle already out. I mean, surely you wouldn't pick Disruptor on top of those 2 heroes. Unless, as I said, the Enchantress is offlane, but I really don't think that's super likely.
10 seconds
We'll see.
remaining.
Maybe KoD plays it all the time. Demon know and I don't. That's entirely possible. Ember, the next ban out.
Dire team pick.
So, not wanting to deal with that late game. They could potentially be thinking of PL for themselves or something. And they'll go for a bat. So there'll be your offlaner for Chung God. Although they could run it mid for DDX. But I'm not sure if he is a mid bat rider kind of player. And a nice hero to have. I mean, the bat rider, if you get that jump onto the Invoker, Enchantress can put out a lot of damage very quickly with the her ultimate. But interesting that they pit the bat into Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit often seen as one of the core counters to Bat Rider, as that swap does break the lasso, and it can do it at decent range too. So
Reserve time.
maybe just confident that their Bat Rider can find the right picks, or maybe they just feel comfortable with the hero and don't really care what demon pick up to counter it. But Slark will be the third choice for Demon, and this was a hero that Vultur banned against them last game. So they'll get it this time. And with the Slark and an Invoker, Demon have a much more solid catch-up and better late game. So even if their lanes get crushed this time, it should not be as big a concern. Slark, always a hero that can catch up in the jungle. He can max that Dark Pact, go off the map, farm for a little bit. Incredibly hard to gank.
Radiant team pick.
And Invoker, similar thing. I mean, I was casting a game earlier this week where the Invoker got trounced in lane, had absolutely nothing, then disappeared for a little while in the jungle with Forge Spirits and came back, ended up being one of the most farmed heroes in the game. So Demon, they're not going to make the same mistake they did last time. They're not going to go for that all-in early game kind of pressure lineup. They're going to secure their late game. And a Slark against these heroes, if he gets a good start, I mean, Nature's Prophet, incredibly weak. Bat Rider, a little better, but still not great. He can Dark Pact off the stacks of Sticky Napalm. And, I mean, Dazzle's food, unless she uses the Shallow Grave on herself, in which case, you're not using it on your cores. So I really think that if Demon don't get utterly trounced in the laning stage, then, okay, Phoenix will be the next big up. And I like this a lot, because you want Slark to be able to jump in on the backside, go for picks without being interfered with too much. And, well, one way to do that, throw the Phoenix Egg in there, make all of Vultur turn their attention to that, and the Slark and the Invoker can have their way on the back lines with all the spells of the Invoker falling in. The Slark, much stronger draft from Demon so far compared to Game 1, I think. Whether they can execute it, though, remains to be seen. But, well, and the Winter Wyvern, final ban for Vultur. Another, it would have been a good support to have against the Bat Rider. Whoever gets lassoed, if your Venge isn't in range for the swap, you can at least still get the Cold Embrace out, potentially a Winter's Curse to hold him in place and not drag the hero away. So
10 seconds remaining.
And a Drow final ban. That makes a lot of sense with the Prophet and Phantom Lancer. I expected that pick as soon as I saw the Ember ban out. So a great hero to deal with all of these heroes on Demon, actually. The Illusions, more right clicks for the Phoenix Egg. The Slark, very single target focus. He does have that Dark Pact, of course, and that helps. But on a Slark and a PL with even farm, the PL wins that every time. Now, they do have Invoker, who's got a lot of AoE, can deal with the Phantom Lancer for a while, but once he gets that Diffusal Blade up, the Invoker does have to be a little scared. And can be hard to find the right illusion to put that Cold Snap onto. Can be a little hard to get away. So
5 seconds remaining.
Demon, they still need one more support, unless it's going to be a Phoenix support. And okay, it will be a Phoenix support. They'll go for an offlane Bristleback. So, wow, I mean, if this game goes late, Demon have this. They've got such great scaling heroes. The Venge, the Phoenix, all these heroes do incredibly well with levels and farm. And actually, switching up the roles a little here, it looks like Zipzap will be taking the Bristleback crash on that Invoker. So I wonder if this is just heroes they're comfortable with, or they're also going to switch lanes, but I really doubt that. I think Invoker's got to go mid, and so they're probably just going to whatever lane the hero they're most comfortable on plays.
Ten seconds remaining.
Just give me a second. My body is acting up and hates me right now.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, we're in. So here we are, game 2 of this best of 3. Demon Gaming versus Vultur. Can they come back? Can they make it a best of 3 series in the true sense of the word with full 3 games? Or will they get knocked out on DMG? It's Kukaracha taking the Phoenix as support. Slayer supporting on the Venge. It'll be Zip Zap on that Bristleback. Jazu taking the safe lane Slark and Crash. Heading towards the mid lane on that Invoker. On the Dire side, we've got Negro taking the Enchantress into the bot lane so far. Algodon on that PL. It'll be DDX on the Batrider, so that is a mid Batrider, and it'll be an offlane Nature's Prophet with the support Phoenix, the support Dazzle on Visco. So mid Bat, really nice actually for the Invoker. There is actually kill potential there with that if he gets those sticky napalm stacks online. So Bat can potentially outplay the Invoker a little bit here, and the Nature's Prophet will be the choice for the offlane. So he can harass down the Slark a little bit early before the Slark gets that level 6 online. And it looks like there will be no Clash of the Rune this time. DMG will claim the top. Vultur will claim the bottom. And, well, Algodon, I wonder, this is a long way from the safe lane. I wonder if they're going to switch things up and he's going to aggressive try. As they could potentially do that. Negro could farm in the enemy woods. And they actually spot Jazu out, but he's got a level. He can skill pounce if he needs to, and will be just fine. Just takes a little bit of damage. Actually, a lot of damage. He may be forced to either go back to base or pop his salve. And the trees continue to give vision, and he gets very low, actually. Will be forced to use his salve. 13 seconds into the game, that's not the start you want. And he might have a little bit of a tough lane as a result. So it looks like Algodon... No, DDX. It's DDX in the safe lane. And it'll be PL mid. Okay. So switching things up a lot here are the Dire side. And this could be a bit of a tricky lane for Algodon. Invoker does have a lot of right-click damage early on and does have the range advantage. So Algodon looks like he may be going for a bottle rush. He's got those 2 shared tangos, but can't really spam out those spirit lands until he gets that. And that's really his one tool for driving the Invoker back so he can get his CS. And if he doesn't have that, well, he's going to eat a lot of harass if he goes up to the lane for hits. So, could be a little tricky now. So we're DC'd. It looks like there could be some action here as Kukaracha, Jazu, and Slayer all here. Negro hiding in the trees. Has gone enchant level 1, so does not have untouchable. Can be vulnerable if Slark gets a pounce onto him. They've also got the stun from Slayer potentially. Hasn't leveled anything up yet. Can save it. And actually, the Phoenix went for Fire Spirits level 1. Really unusual to see the Phoenix not go for that first point at Icarus Dive, as you do find that movement tool so useful early on if you're getting dove. So, well, the pings are coming out. And the Dire have vision of this, so Visco unfortunately DC'd, but we'll give Vultur time to think about what they're going to do. Is Negro going to fall here? I think he might. They definitely have the control, although Chungad, well, he doesn't have spread or anything, still only level 1, but he's got decent right-click damage, and the Dazzle is there with the heal, so maybe they can get her out of this. It'll be tricky, though, but she's got boots. So does the Venge, though. What is the Slark carrying, level 1? Just the shield, so doesn't have that catch-up tool, but he's got the pounce. And the Fire Spirits do a decent chunk of damage. It's going to be close. I'm not sure whether Negro gets out of this or not. Now, the other lane we didn't talk about is this Batrider against the Zip Zap Bristleback. And Bristleback's tanky, but I think this lane does slightly favor the Batrider if he plays it right. Those sticky napalm stacks make things really hard for the Bristleback, who does want to continually switch back and forth between facing forward and facing back. That turn speed nerf really hurts him. Plus, of course, the Bat doesn't really need to right-click him to do his damage. You can just Firefly. So Bristleback won't actually protect Zip Zap from a whole lot of damage here. It could be close, though. But the Bat, all he needs to do is get up his initial item, his Blink Dagger, I'll be interested to see if the Vultur supports do a similar kind of stacking role as they did in Game 1. They stacked a lot for the Alchemist, and they could stack for the Bat as well. Now, it looks like with these two, it's going to be more focused on staying in lane rotating. But Negro certainly can spend some time stacking camps while he's farming up, and Dazzle can as well. So could be a way of, even if this Bat Rider has a bit of a rough time in the lane against the Bristleback, there is a way for him to catch up. And Vultur supports already indicated last game that they know how to stack. They know how to get that money out of that jungle. So well, still DC'd. Hopefully it's not too much longer. I'm going to go quiet for a little bit, guys. It's a solo cast. I'm going to save my voice since there's nothing really to talk about at this point. We're just waiting for the unpause to come out. As soon as it does, we'll get back into things. But for now, nothing more to be said. We just got to wait and see who's going to win this mid lane, whether Negro's going to die here in this little corner of the trees, whether Bat can stand up against the Bristleback, or whether Bristleback gets to zone him out, take a lot of farm for himself. I'll just have to wait and see. Now, I'm not sure what the tournament rules are here now, guys, but at this point, we've run through a lot of pause time, so there may be some kind of penalty for Vultur if he can't get back in. And the question is, do Vultur have any kind of standby or stand-in ready that they can bring on to replace if he can't get back on? And I, unfortunately, cannot understand Spanish, so hopefully you guys are able to follow what's going on a little better than I can. And it looks like Algodon asking if they can remake with a stand-in. Well, that's an okay. So we may be looking at a remake, folks. If so, we'll put the intermission screen back up, listen to a little bit more tunes, and wait till we can get back into this. Still waiting to see what the word is. For now, I'll throw out the screen, and if the game comes back, we'll hop back into it. But otherwise, sit tight, guys. We'll be a few minutes, and then hopefully we can get this show on the road. Be right back. All right, it looks like we might be ready to go again as the G comes out. The reconnect is there. No remake for us, folks. We're back into it. Thank goodness. And, well, what's happening here? It looks like the First Blood will actually go the way of the Phoenix as Vultur cleaned that up. And Jazu getting incredibly low. The right click's too much from Negro as they will bring down the Slark as well. A 0 for 2 start for Vultur. And disastrous turnaround for them. As I thought maybe they could get a play there, get some damage onto the Enchantress, but not the case. And with those 2 kills, again, Vultur off to a great early laning stage, and now the Treants are mid, harassing Crash back, so PL getting whatever he wants here. He's 5-3, and Invoker has yet to CS. And, well, that's another pick as the solo kill comes out from DDX onto the Bat Rider. Was not expecting that at 1 minute in. Only with 1 point up in each the Firefly and the Sticky Napalm. But DDX, just a player on this Bat Rider, and he outplayed mid last game really hard as well. So this guy showing his stuff here. And Jazu, I mean, DMG, they do still have the better late game, but this is about the worst start that they could have asked for. And now, Kukaracha, you got to be careful. He does not have dive available. And he, with 0 armor, is incredibly squishy at this stage in the game. And Zipzap's got to be really careful with those napalm stacks. Doesn't want to get picked off yet again. That's 3 stacks. He's got to be really cautious here. And I really like this from Vultur. Aggressive tri-laning here, more or less, with the Enchantress in the jungle. Not only is she preventing these supports from getting any pulls off, because she's just farming the camps, she can rotate through, and the amount of pressure they're putting onto the Slark here, he will be forced to pounce away, but 3-1 here. He's not really getting a whole lot, and the other lane's not going well either. Bat Rider 6-1, but that's against the 12 of the Bat, and Crash. Well, I mean, 3-0 versus a 17-6 PL. Wow, the outplays are real, guys. I don't know what else to say. Vultur just rolling over DMG in this early game. Now, again, if DMG can get there, they've got good late game. They just have to survive this laning stage without hemorrhaging too much. They can always catch up. They have the control, but the question is, are Vultur going to let them get there? And Kukaracha, surrounded by trees here, still doesn't have to jump the heal bomb onto the Treants, brings them down 4-0 for Vultur. And Kukaracha not leveling dive level 1 is costing him dearly. That's 2 kills because of that. And he will TP back in, but he's just feeding at this point. And they're going to continue to put this pressure out. Slayer doing what he can, but Visco, it does so much work. That level 2 point in Shadow Wave already. Kukaracha still, he's found this level 2 now, so he's got dive. Bot mid lane. Algadon going on to Crash here. He gets low. How's gone actually for the Quaswex build, interestingly. So just looking to provide the control for his Slark and his Bristleback. And speaking of Bristleback, you look away for just a second as Hero's going down. Jazu may fall. The Grave comes out. He's not even going to be able to finish off Visco. And the trees lock him in. Will the Grave fall? No, he doesn't get him. Visco into the trees. Will salve back up. And the Bat does go down in the off lane. So Bristleback does manage to at least get a counter pick. But look at this. Negro diving Kukaracha. The dive is down. This is going to be another kill. And that's all 3 of the Radiant safe lane heroes wiped off the map. They're going to come back in, but I think at this point maybe you just sack this lane. What else can they do here? Jazu, level 3. 2 deaths on him. Nothing but regen. He's getting absolutely nothing out of this lane. Algadon. What's he flying out on the courier? He's already picked up an item. It's going to be... just a completed wand. And the last hit board fully in command of the Dire here as all 3 of the cores are farming better than their Radiant counterparts. DDX has gone for the Bassi. Waiting to see if he rushes Tranquils or goes for the Blink Dagger instead as mid lane. Algadon manning up onto Crash here. He's got the point in Juxtapose. So can have those illusions out. And Crash doesn't have those AoE spells out yet. Well, he's got actually Tornado EMP because he's Quaswex, of course. But rotation through from Negro, looking for something. The stun comes out on him, though. But he does have the 2 points in Untouchable, so not a whole lot Jazzu can do here. And the damage coming out, it's there from Kukaracha, but the Grave will save Negro. And now Jazzu low, got to turn and run, but the Sprout is there onto Kukaracha. He'll fall. On the backside, they're going to clean up Slayer as well. This tri-lane versus tri-lane has just gone disastrously for DMG. Negro on a killing spree in the jungle Enchantress. He's already got phase boots online. Oh my goodness. And now Crash on the mid lane, just getting chased away from his tower just by these illusions. 36 to 19 is your creep score in the mid lane. And top, Zip-Zap manning up on the Batrider. But he does have his wand up now. So both of them taking advantage of the spam that the other hero is putting out. And bot lane, looks like we're going again. Jazzu just hiding in the trees. Can't really do anything. He hasn't even found his level 4 yet, 6 minutes in. For a safe lane carry, this is about the worst start you could have. And Slark, I mean, he's not a hero that plays super well from behind. This is a little concerning. The stun comes out. The dive is through, but Negro gonna be just fine. They've rotated Crash in. Tornado, though, completely off the mark, as well as the EMP. Dive onto Visco, but he's still got Grave if necessary, and a level 3 heal. Kukaracha getting low. They've managed to find the cold snap, but not going to connect onto Negro. He wands back up. He's going to be fine. He's actually chasing Slayer, who could be in trouble here. And Slayer will fall, get the stun out, though, and Negro's still alive! And they rotate the Invoker in, but he just falls to the right click of the tree and the Dazzle. 12 to 1 your score. 3 heroes down. The Bristleback falls in the off lane to the Batrider, and there's another kill. Jazzu trying to get what he can, but he's the only hero on his team left alive at 7 minutes in. And Vultur just running all over DMG. This is going to be another quick game 2, folks, it looks like. Oh my goodness. What a stomp. Visco almost level 6. You compare that to the Slark, who hasn't even hit 4 yet. They'll take this tier 1 tower, and there's no need to back down now. DDX been completely uncontested now. He's got the Tranquil Boots online. Almost has enough money for a Blink as well. And, I mean, if they've been this aggressive without the Blink Dagger, I can only imagine what they're going to be doing when they've got it on. And mid, destroyed as well. Algodon takes that tower down by himself. He's got the Aquila up online. Can go for that Boots of Travel build next, I imagine. And there's just no stopping. Chungob with the trees. They're going to make a push on bot lane happen. Continue to keep the pressure up. Jazzu has found brown boots at least, and is level 4, but this is not enough. He has no way to stand against the power of this. And Negro, with his level 6 getting close, once that comes online, these heroes just get demolished. And Kukaracha has found his level 3. But they can't hold this tower. They're just kind of standing back, running around. No idea what to do here. The tower's already down to half health. We're talking about an 8-minute pressure on the tier 2 safe lane tower. And there is nothing DMG can do about this. If they don't have 5 heroes here, and look at that. Algodon rotates through just to secure it. The Wave of Terror is out, but it's only level 1. Actually, level 2. Not bad. But the tower will still fall. And Vultur. So they push forward here. I mean, it would be greedy, but they're so far ahead at this point. DDX continuing to harass down this Bristle. Look at the damage he's taking. And the Flame Break is there. You can put more sticky napalms on him. He'll fall to the Nature's Prophet ultimate. That's an unstoppable spree for your Nature's Prophet. 6-0-4. These guys cannot be stopped. Now the Lance comes out on a Crash. He does have Ghost Walk. Going to be forced to use it. Do they have any detection? They do not. So we will be forced away. But they're just going to group up on the mid lane here. Press down. Tornado comes out, connects. But the pressure is not going to stop from Vultur. They're going to take this tier 2. And we're talking about 10 minutes, 2 tier 2s down, with the Phantom Lancer there for the late game. It feels, I don't want to be pessimistic and call it early, but it does feel like DMG may be calling it any second now. The heal bomb onto Zip-Zap. Look at the damage he's taking. He's doing what he can. The Quill Spray is doing a lot. Negro actually gets quite low, but he will be graved up. Going to be fine. The TP comes in. They need to defend this tower. And it looks like they will do so for now, but Zip-Zap already so low. And that's Drums coming out for the Phantom Lancer. He wants to fight. This is a very early game focused build, and absolutely the right choice. With these early stats, I mean, DMG can't really deal with them. They don't have the tools. And Jazzu and Slayer desperately going to try and hold this tier 2. But, I mean, Egg, nowhere in sight. Crash, only level 7, doesn't really have a whole lot of kit. Slayer still sitting on brown boots. And I mean, the net worth tells the story. Look at that. The 4 position of Vultur is almost doubling the net worth of the leading farmer on DMG. And Vultur straight into the roast pit. This is objective gaming here, as they are not putting down the pressure. And Negro now has the Dragonlance completed. He hasn't even hit level 6 yet, and he's already got that bonus for the impetus. And with this roast takedown, he should hit it. And then he is going to be putting out so much damage in these fights. The heal bomb is there. Aegis will be claimed by the Enchantress, actually. And top lane. I mean, this Batrider hasn't even needed to be involved in these fights yet. He's just been farming. They get the stun out on him. This would be a big kill, but Chungod is in. The Flame Break comes out, and he's still perfectly healthy. Chungod has to back, and now Zip Zap burning low to the fire. The lasso is there. Kukaracha will fall. 3 kills on the board for the Dire side. Wicked 6 Bree on this Prophet. With those drums up, almost with 2k gold as well. You can go for that Maelstrom next. And, well, it's going to be another lane of towers to fall here, as with those 3 heroes in the grave. Tornado EMP will come out from Crash and does a lot of damage, but there's nothing to follow it up with. Slayer, Wave of Terror. This hero's getting a bit low, but, well, they've got the heal bomb. And with the boots, with the arcane boots, Visco very sustainable here. He can just heal them all back to full. And with the treants out, yeah, there it is. This tower is falling. No way to save it. And Algadon just going to hold these DMG heroes back. Phoenix desperate to get to his level 6, but at this point, with how far ahead they are, they catch Zip Zap. And I mean, this is supposed to be their tanky frontliner, but he is so squishy in the power of this damage coming out from Vultur. He will fall. Now on the backside, Algadon going on to Crash. Negro is here with that impetus finally scaled up, and it's going to do so much damage. Now, Weave is there defensively. Zip Zap has bought back. They desperately need to hold this, but Negro getting low. He's still got the Aegis, remember. Working on his eggs now. The blink forward from DDX. He may fall here. The stun connects, but Zip Zap gonna go down again. That's a dieback on him. The Sprout is up on Kukaracha. He'll fall. That's a monster kill for the Nature's Prophet, and now Slayer getting burned down by the impetus damage. Negro doesn't even care. He's got the Aegis. He'll tank tower shots all day. May go down here, but no, the heal is there. Another 3 fall. No one has died on Vultur. And they'll claim the tier 2. Aegis finally goes down. But, well, is this just a BMDC? This may be DMG just giving up on this game. I don't think they can come back into this. 1-21 at the 12-minute mark. And do I even want to know what the gold graph looks like? Again, we're talking about a 20,000 gold lead at the 12-minute mark. As much of a stomp as Game 1 was, Game 2 even more so. And I don't know. These teams are not even on the same level. This is like 5K average versus 2K average, it feels like. I don't know what's going on with DMG. They're just completely outclassed here. Well, I guess we'll wait for the Bristleback to come back. The Dazzle was paused for quite a long time while he came back, so I imagine Vultur wait for it, but still, I mean, he's reconnecting into what? Reconnecting into just death. Just death. That's a dieback on him as well, so he's down for another 20 seconds. And I mean, this Enchantress already halfway to her Ag Scepter on top of the Dragonlance 12 minutes in. Well, this is the kind of game, well, Zip Zap's back, so we may be ready to go, but this is the kind of game where if you're DMG, after this is over, you disconnect, you go have a hot shower, eat a tub of ice cream, and just cry to yourself. As Negro will now be the one to disconnect. Well, a little unfortunate, but I mean, they could play without him at this point. They could unpause, send him back to the well, and just still win the game handily. Look at this. The Dazzle is beating the Invoker in net worth at 12 minutes. The Dazzle's 2-0 and 12. He's having a great time. 1,500 net worth up on him. He can go for an Aether Lens next. He can maybe go for a Glimmer Cape. He can go for whatever he wants. The Nature's Prophet's finished up that Maelstrom already. Algodon can go for the Boots Travel. It feels like by the time he gets them, this game is going to be more or less over, as we're good to go. Back in it. Back just to see the end of this sordid mess of a game. 1-21, 12 minutes in. Well, DMG, they haven't called it yet. They're not going to give up. If they find Sakil here, it's going to be massive. I mean, if all they need is 1 or 2 picks, and it's going to be like a 4K gold swing. But it's just, at this point, hard to see how they get those picks. There's now a 4-staff on the Bat Rider. His tier 2 will fall. All outer towers down. Aegis down as well. But on the bot lane, DDX looking for the lasso. Can find it onto Jazzu here. The Dark Pact going to be there, but the Flame Break will put him back. And the blink forward. The lasso's there, dragging him all the way back. He's already used the pounce. Won't be able to get out of that. That's a solo pick for the Bat Rider onto the Slark. And with the Slark down, he's found his level 6 at least, but not enough to save him there. And, well, here goes the tier 3. Zip-Zap jumps into the middle of them. This is not the play. He gets surrounded by trees, taken down by the heal bomb. That's a godlike spree for Negro. And he's down for 30, no buyback. This is going to be Elena Rax for certain. And, I mean, I don't know what Zip-Zap was doing there. He ran into 5. I mean, you're a Bristleback, but you're a Bristleback who's incredibly far behind. He's got 2k net worth here, being outclassed by everyone. And the Phoenix Egg, it's does come out, but it's going to get cleaned up so quickly here. The Prophet will finish it off. That's him down for 25. Vultur gets low, and as actually does go down. Now, can they kill this Enchantress? If they could, it'd be huge, but Untouchable is doing way too much work. And now, the Flame Break back onto Crash. He'll fall. The Flames burning Jazzu down, and he will fall as well. Slayer now going to be the last one to fall. Zip-Zap's back alive thanks to these low death timers, but it doesn't matter. GG's out. 2-27 is your final score. And that's a 25,000 net worth lead at the 14-minute mark, folks. It doesn't get more one-sided than that. And Vultur will take this series 2-0, and they'll move on. Guys, that's it for the English broadcast for today. You got a couple of best of 3s coming up tomorrow. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the cast. You can follow me at Sindar Gaming on Twitter.